y'all. So welcome back to another episode of the Talk of the Ring Show. You have your host,
Sabrina and
Harley. And so let's just start with Sabrina. How are you on this fine Sunday?
I'm good. AXW was last night. Great night. Great athletes, I should say.
Mhm.
And it was just an altogether. We got to see Kakoa again. So today I kind of woke up with like a little sore throat, and a headache. But other than that, I shopped today. I got some things done, so I am doing great. As you guys hear my phone going off.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyways, so let's just start off easy Sam. That my dad. Of course, he's in the chat. Good afternoon, ladies. Yes, queen. No, I'm just kidding.
Afternoon. It's technically evening.
So I'm just gonna, on behalf of me and Sabrina, I'm the brains, and no, I'm just kidding. But we're just gonna say this: that we don't condone certain things some of these wrestlers do. So one of the episodes, I'm not saying names. We're not gonna hate towards this wrestler. What they did, they know it was wrong. So the episode that they were on, we are going to be removing it just because we don't want to be a part of what they're going through. We'll still we don't have hate for him. What they did is wrong. So we're not going to go into detail, but all I'm going to say is that episode will be getting taken down. So, but yeah, we have lots of great episodes coming to you. We got so many wrestling events. So me and Sabrina aren't going nowhere. So you guys are stuck with us.
Yeah, sorry guys. I know you were thinking this is a retirement show, but it's not.
We're retiring already.
Yeah, we're done. We're tired.
Yeah.
But no, while we're waiting for our guest, Harley, what was your favorite match from last night?
Oh my goodness. Why don't you start? Because I'm gonna help our guest. Oh, never mind.
Oh, here we go.
We'll speak that later. But so Sabrina, you want to welcome our guest?
Sure. Today we have no other than Chris Slade.
Hey guys. Sorry about me being so tardy. This technology thing is crazy. So
it's fine. We're used to it. It's not the first time.
fair enough. Okay, it makes me feel a little bit better. Okay, cool.
You should have seen me on the first episode. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh really? Okay, cool. So at least I'm not the only one that was having issues. Like when getting the link is just like it sends you to your other browser and you don't use that browser because everybody uses Google, and I don't know. It was just weird. It was just weird. And luckily I've figured it out and I'm here, and yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, we're rolling with it. So obviously me and Sabrina have seen you in a lot of great matches.
Thank you.
So usually how we start is basically just who or what got you into wrestling.
Okay, gotcha. So Triple H was probably the one that got me into wrestling. That a lot of people are like, that's weird, given my style of wrestling, but I just gravitated to his mindset in the ring. And honestly, let's be honest, like 90s Triple H, he was a badass. He came out with the leather jacket, came out with the water and everything like that, had the cool music, had Stephanie, man. It was dope, man. And he just, I guess something just, what he did really resonated with me. And my dad was, honestly, it was his fault that I even got into wrestling in the first place. Because when I was a baby, I would say as soon as I was born, because he was already a fan. He would sit me down with a bowl of noodles and watch Monday Night Raw. And I guess the older I got, I just sat there on the couch with him, and then we both did it. And then it would be like SmackDown, and then we didn't have cable, so it would just be SmackDown. And then eventually we got cable, and then it was like Monday, Friday, and it fell off the older you get. You know how that happens. You know how that goes. But yeah, Triple H was the man that made me love wrestling, but my dad was actually the person that got me into wrestling. So yeah.
I can definitely say, yeah, my dad was the one who got me into wrestling as well.
Yeah, see, it's always the dads most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is my dad too.
There you go. See, we're all there. See,
No.
Well, being an only child, my dad had no choice but to get me into wrestling because he needed something to get his daughter into.
well, that's fair. That's fair.
But who trains you?
Nick Sicken with Ryan City trained me. He pretty much when I was just doing backyard stuff, which pretty much everybody's done at some point or another, that's gotten wrestling these days. Um, I heard about him. He was training people, so I decided like I really wanted to give it a shot, and so I went to him, and he graciously took me in and pretty much just taught me the basics and just built me up from there. Showed me the business and just taking care of me quite a bit since I've gotten in the business. A good 4 years that I've been in now. So
Wow. Wrestling.
That's
I
awesome.
think time flies in wrestling. Honestly.
yeah, it does because honestly, I went to a show and this one guy's like, "Man, we've been watching you for a long time," and I'm like, "I've only been doing this like 2 years, 2.5 years, or something like that." And I think about it, I'm like, "Dude, you've been here 4 years." And I think we lost somebody.
It's okay. She'll probably come back.
Gotcha. But it's just one of those things where it's such a hustle and bustle, and you're always on the road and things like that, and you keep on going. Ooh, kitty, I love cats. But yeah, and with that hustle and bustle, you kind of forget sometimes to enjoy it. And so, yeah, definitely, it's just time has just gone by for me. Like 1 year turned into 4 years in the blink of an eye, honestly.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw you, I was like a little terrified when you came out.
Why?
Because I think you were wearing like that mask, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
I was
Okay.
like, it was my first show ever at PPW, and I looked at my friend
Mhm.
Shawnee that I brought, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like him.
Right.
He
Well,
was
to be
scary.
fair, it's supposed to, strike fear into the opponents, not necessarily the fans. So I
Right.
am sorry about that, but I hope I made up for it. I hope I made up for it.
You did. You became actually one of the top wrestlers that I like to see wrestle. So
Well, thank you. I do my best. I really do.
I have to say, me and Chris Slade, we have like with me, it's a hate love kind of thing. Like when you were facing Rembrandt, obviously, I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you suck, get out of
Right.
here." Like now,
Right.
I'm like, in a way, I think you're a great wrestler, but now
Mhm.
since that like feud ended, I think that
What's been going
storyline
on?
something big. Like
Yeah.
freaking Rembrandt and Cosmic stole your girlfriend and like kidnapped her, and then the next month
Right.
like nothing happened. I'm like, guys, come on with the storyline.
Yeah. Well, so on Fight TV, we did kind of resolve this issue. We did do it was a cinematic type of match. So because for a fight like that, like you said, he stole my fiance. He has cost me many times in my career at PPW and things like that. So we kind of needed to do something big. Unfortunately, um, the other part of life happened in which I, in terms of around Christmas Eve or so, I had been carjacked. So basically, that was my transportation. And with that, it had my phone in it, and it had a lot of my things in it. It had Christmas gifts in it, and that set me back quite a bit. And so I had another car by the time PPW came around, and so all this other stuff was going on, and I had gotten my other car up and running. So I'm ready to go do this match. Everything else is going on, and pretty much my other car says, "I'm not going to work anymore. I'm not going to work anymore." And and that's like literally like maybe a day or two before the PPW show. So I ended up having to make it up, and besides, I felt like it was one of those things where it was like it couldn't be just contained in one of those in just your basic match. And I think Rembrandt would even tell you that it got heated. He wanted the championship. I wanted the championship and my fiance. Why can't I have both? He had both, right? Um, but it was definitely one of those things where I I felt like needed to be a more personal feud. I would have loved everyone to have seen it like live though, because I feel like you guys, like guys like yourselves, like would have really enjoyed that. And unfortunately, this is not the only time I've heard. I was like, "Hey, what happened to that?" Yeah, so definitely. But if you guys want to check it out, it is on PPW and on Fight TV. So definitely check it out.
No, yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people like don't have like some people don't have it, so then they're
Yeah,
like,
that's also a problem.
but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was great. But in the chat, really quick, just to get us started, we have the Pro Wrestling Podcast saying, "Hey, hey," and then we have my dad's like chanting your name,
Yo, what's up, man?
and then the Pro Wrestling Podcast said, "Damn, bro, sorry to hear that."
Yeah, thanks, man. Not a lot of people knew about it. Some of the people close to me did, but I didn't. It was one of those like darker times, more so just because it was just one of those things where outside of the wrestling bubble, you have other people to take care of, and when you can't wrestle and when you can't, do what you love and things like that, which is also part of your income, it makes things difficult. So yeah, man, it was like I was definitely fighting for my payday for the first like half of 2022.
Oh my gosh. I could say 2022 was a little different than 2020 though, but can't give that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, it
Yeah.
was.
So obviously your name is Chris Slade. How did you come up with that?
Okay. Fun story. I'm a huge nerd. People may not know that about me. And I'm hugely into comics. Like people think I'm joking. I can pull like an action figure out right now. Boom. I'm a huge nerd. But I needed something that would make sense. And when I was in backyard, I was just like, oh, I want something like this. Really, really cool. Oh, I'm sorry, we lost her again.
We lost
Um, yeah, it happened.
yeah.
But I wanted something cool, you know what I mean? And oh, look, this is really embarrassing, but when I used to play like SmackDown versus Raw, I would make the stupidest names for my created characters, thinking I was cool, right? Like I was a huge fan of like Jeff Hardy in 2008, so I had to be Extreme D, and that was the worst name ever. It didn't age well at all. And I was like, I can't go into wrestling named Extreme D. That's just not. It's just not going to track well. So when I was going in, I knew I was seriously going to give wrestling a try. I thought about like Slade Wilson. Teen Titans was my jam, and for PG reasons, they couldn't say Deathstroke all the time. You know what I mean? So what they just used his real name, which was also a pretty dope name. And with Robin being super obsessed with the guy, I was like, man, Slade is a really, really cool name. So I added that, and my middle name is Chris, so that is legitimate. That's my name. Uh, so yeah, so I put that together, and it really stuck. And then they added the picture perfect assassin. Maybe like a year and a half later into my career professionally, and Slade Wilson is an assassin, and it just kind of works, and that's just kind of and my love of kind of like comics and anime and martial arts in general kind of just created. I was like, Chris Slade, that works. No matter like I was like, no matter what, that works, and people can chant it. So I figured, okay, that works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, because there's some wrestlers like their name is so hard to chant, and then I ended up not chanting for them. I'm like, I want
Right.
to cheer for you, but so then me and Sabrina just come up with like random names. Like last night we were at a wrestling event and we didn't know their names, like because it was like our first time. We were like, "Go ahead, bald man, go get them."
Exactly. And a lot of guys, I think, when they first think of their name, they don't actually think about that part. Like, can you chant it? Because a lot of guys have come up to me as like, I don't know what my name would be, and I'd be like, I think the best thing is can they clap it? Because if you can clap it on beat, I think you're golden. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Make it easy on the fans. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be honest, not everybody got rhythm. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
one of them, kind of.
We figured that out last night real quick. We said this crowd has no rhythm.
Yeah, see, it's just one of those things. Some people have it, some people don't, and hopefully you get a crowd that has a little bit more seasoning. You know what I'm saying? So,
For sure. Like, what was it last night? We were trying to say cocoa. We were trying to read for cocoa, and we're like,
yeah.
cocoa. We're like, we don't know what we're doing over here. Too many syllables.
I'm assuming was this an MCW show at all?
AXW.
AXW, okay. Because I know the name Kakoa. Does he have the face paint going down the
Yeah.
eyes? Yeah, I know that guy. Yes, I know that guy. Yeah, no, he's really good. Man. He's really good. Hard to pronounce name, but absolutely really good. Really good guy.
Yeah. Oh
How'd
man.
you guys enjoy that match? If you don't mind me asking.
It was it. I really enjoyed that match. He's one of like top tier of my favorites.
Definitely,
But
definitely. I mean, he earned that spot because he's every time I've seen him, he's been fantastic.
yeah,
For
he's
sure.
great.
But we've seen Chris Slade wrestle so much. So Harley, I think it's time that we say what our favorite matches were with Chris Slade. So,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to start or should I start?
You can start.
Okay, I think I like any match that you are in with Brando Lee. I think that you guys love Young Glory. I think y'all like
Yeah.
have a really good like vibe together. So like every time you're in the ring, it's like a constant like. You guys have so much energy. I'm over here like, oh my god. So I think you
Yeah,
guys have a
no,
good
he's
vibe in the
a
ring.
fantastic competitor. Yeah, no, he's awesome. He's so awesome. It's crazy.
Hardly.
Like you said, I've seen him in lots of matches, but I think like my top tier moment of like favorite matches with Chris Slade was the Rembrandt and Chris Slade. Cause Rembrandt's my boy,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed those matches. I mean, any match you're in is great, but those are definitely my favorite.
I would have to say, yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Like, there's a for guys that don't like each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
For guys that just like kick each other's heads in for a living, there is undeniably a chemistry in the ring there that I can't deny. And I think if you asked him the same thing, he would say the same. Um, so I guess it's a good thing that we don't like each other, right? Because man, we can kick each other's ass all day without a problem, right? So I think it just kind of works out. I think the better enemies make the best opponents in the ring. Like, you know what I mean? Some people say, "Oh yeah, because it's gonna look ugly or X, Y, and Z," or no, man. It's just you have two really good guys that like to throw hands. What's not entertaining about that? That's just
Exactly.
me personally.
So, like in the wrestling industry, where would you see yourself in about 5 years? Like, what do you have a goal for yourself?
Yes. This is gonna sound super. It's gonna sound like super like generic, but obviously, I think I would like to be signed in the next 5 years. Um, where I'm not 100% sure because things are just so weird in the wrestling industry, right? You got AEW, which is a fantastic company in terms of getting new guys out there and being not just for the casual, but can be for like your hardcore indie guys. WWE is just, let's be honest, it's the upper echelon. This is what everybody watches. This is what everybody knows. If you say a name in wrestling, you're going to say a WWE name before you say an AEW name or a New Japan name or a TNA name. You know what I mean? Um, and New Japan is they're just fire in general. And I've always wanted to go to Japan. So could I tell you where I would be? I don't know. But I would say I would like to see myself at least performing for one of those companies in the next 5 years consistently. But I would be lying if I wouldn't be kind of nudging towards New Japan because the talent pool there is just amazing. And anybody that goes to New Japan, and goes to Japan in general, actually, just comes back with a better understanding of wrestling and a better respect for it, and that just makes them 1,000 times better. And I'm here to be the best. You know what I mean? That's not just cap. That's not just a gimmick. That's what I want to do, and I can't do that without pushing myself and my limits. So, and I feel like Japan is like a really good way to do that. So.
Yeah, definitely. Like me and Sabrina have times where we're like that wrestler, like for you example, or like Action Andretti, we're like they're great wrestlers. They're not gonna be at like these small indie shows for long because once they get signed, you're not gonna see them.
Exactly, and Andretti's a perfect example of that. It was like, yo, dude, this guy had been killing it at PPW nonstop, and before anybody knew it, here he is on AEW. You know, tearing it up as well. It's just amazing how that thing. So hopefully, yeah, man, keep the same track, man.
Yeah. So in the chat, my dad goes, "What's up? I love your style of wrestling." And then Pro Wrestling says, "Where do you think your style would fit the most at AEW, WWE, or Impact?"
Okay, I think I'm gonna tell you right now, 100%. I'm a little bit. My style isn't WWE's style of wrestling. I know that. I know. I get signed tomorrow. I'm changing a lot of not what I do necessarily, but the way I do it. But if we were to say my style right now, I think it would probably be more akin to New Japan or AEW style. Even Impact, because again, they have this way of they keep the they care a little bit more about their week to week TV products because their audience is so small. So they bring them in with the great wrestling, right? WWE has the luxury of like, don't give it all away just yet because we're gonna have a guaranteed pay per view next month and we're already paid for it, so save it. We don't have that necessarily in indies. And in AEW, in Impact, in New Japan, those shows are spread out and they have really, really big rosters, AEW in particular, in which you don't see the same guy quite often. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Lee Moriarty is in a match, was in a match recently. I haven't seen Lee Moriarty in a while, right? It's one of those things where it's like, my style would fit there, but would you see a lot of it? So I would say like I would probably the best fit would probably be New Japan because like they have a lot of like break off shows where it's like you can get to see the fluidity of it and it's consistent reps and I think it would just add to my style if anything. So I think New Japan probably be the best in terms of because it would add to me more than like me having to tone things down or throw everything I have in one match because I'm afraid I won't get enough TV time. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They agree with you in the chat. They said New Japan bound, let's go. And my dad said,
that's the hope, man. Maybe I
yeah,
can see Leo Rush. That's the match I want.
yeah. And my dad says NXT would be a good fit for you.
I definitely agree with that. NXT, I can, you know what? Honestly, I didn't even think about NXT, but NXT is still in the WWE umbrella, but they do change that style a bit. Like you can tell when they go to the main roster, they slow it down. Those oh my god moments aren't as much, but we also know when those oh my god moments happen, we're like, oh my god, this is what I've been waiting for because for lack of a better term, they've been blue balling us for it since this person came in, and finally, like, oh, Samoa Joe hit his muscle buster, like, finally, yes, like he never does it on the main roster, probably because he broke someone's neck, but it doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. We still like that move. But no, all jokes aside, yeah, no, I think that's kind of one of. I think, yeah, yeah, I still think I would slow it down, but I think I would have a hell of a lot of fun in NXT on the sheer fact of their system. I think that. I think that is one thing. The system would be really good because I mean, you get paid to work out. I don't see that being a problem. Like, I'm sorry.
I would say, like Harley and I say a lot of the times, like indie wrestling to us is very personal because like you get to know the
Yeah.
wrestlers and you get to follow their journey throughout the years that they're here. So like when
Yeah.
you see your favorite like at AEW or WWE, you're
Yeah.
gonna sit here and go, yes, I knew that they would always get that match. So
Right.
like it's so important to go to these indie shows and keep supporting your locals wrestlers because who knows? Chris Slade might be on AEW one day. We don't know.
Yeah.
But like
Never know.
it'd be nice to see Chris Slade on something, like a big promotion.
That's what I'm working on. That's what I'm working on. 2023 is definitely I'm going balls to the wall for that. Definitely, you're definitely gonna see more of Chris Slade the year 2023.
Can't wait. So we got really good questions in the chat. Pro Wrestling Podcast says, which current wrestler would you love to tag with right now? It could be like indies, big time, whatever.
Anything.
So I've never really found myself a tag wrestler, to be honest. Like I've been asked a couple of times, and it's just been like, I'm okay. However, I've always kind of had this idea because again, sometimes um, the best enemies can make better friends sometimes. But I don't know if you guys ever heard of this gentleman, the Hitman for Hire, Mr. Gren. He is someone that I have battled incessantly since I've gotten into the business. He has been all over the world. He's been on AEW. He's just thrashed people wherever he goes. And to add insult to injury, he puts them in a body bag, zips it up, and then carries them to the back. No lie, because I was one of them. Okay, so and I remember thinking to myself, and this is way before the Picture Perfect Assassin and Sharpest Blade thing kind of got going. I was like, I just like that gimmick. You know what I mean? I just like his presence and everything like that. And as we've come to fight each other multitude of times, our styles mesh quite well with him being a bigger guy, but a bigger guy that can move. But with me being the faster guy with the strikes and everything like that, also being an assassin, hitman, I just feel like it kind of works. You know what I mean? So always felt like if we ever tag teamed, it would be at least for the one time. At least for the one time, I feel like it would be just. I don't think we could be beat. I'm gonna say it right now. I don't think we could be beat.
There you
Might
go.
be sounding a little cocky. But I'm just saying. Just saying.
Sabrina, who do you think Chris Slade would be great with in a tag match?
In a tag match. Oh God. Honestly, I would love to see him with Young Glory. I'm just gonna keep going back. I just like their vibes. Like the vibes that I get when you guys are in the ring. Like I think that anybody going against you guys would be unstoppable.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That wouldn't. Now you think about it, yeah, like outside of because I really want that one-on-one match with him. Actually, now that you
So
say it,
do
like
I.
yeah. So I feel like after we get the one-on-one out the way, so we could just whatever beefs or little just competitiveness that we have aside. Let's just put that in the ring. Let's squash that real quick. And maybe we could maybe take the tag titles, maybe, who knows, But I definitely want that one-on-one match first, though. Definitely.
For sure. We know he does too. He was talking about it too. So
Yeah,
it's a mutual thing.
We're on the same page. We're like minds, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Who would you like to see him tag team with, Harley?
Honestly, I know he has a tag partner, but it's fine. I think you and Nolan Pierce would work great together.
Nolan Pierce. Okay.
Yeah. We on here call him Riddles, and he absolutely hates that. So if you see him, just be like, "What's up, Riddles?"
Yeah, say Riddles.
Oh my god.
And we'll know who sent you.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, next time I see him, I'll definitely
He'll be like, "What up,
I'll
Riddle?"
do that.
And Nolan will be like, "Oh God, I know who
Not
sent
you,
these girls."
Riddle. See
No,
now,
but
what is the backstory behind this whole riddles thing?
So the story is that he looks like Matt Riddle from WWE, and so
Ah,
his real name is Matt and Pierce. So we were like, you do look like Matt Riddle, so we're just gonna call you Riddles. So, and now ever since, every time we see him, we're like, "What's up, Riddles?" He's like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I got a Matt Riddle Funko Pop the other day, and I texted him. I'm like, "Look, you're in a Funko, Riddles." He's like, "Are you kidding me?" And he got so mad, but it's okay.
he knows it's all in love.
Yeah, it's fine.
you guys have given me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, you guys have just given me a really funny idea for a rib, but I'm not gonna say it because I would ruin it. But thank you guys. Thank you guys. That would be absolutely wow. Somebody should just on his way out to the ring. Somebody just switches music with Matt Riddle's music. Just
Ooh,
Oh,
real
yes.
quick. That would be hilarious. I'm sorry. I would die. I would die.
I think I would too. Me and Harley would look at each other and go, "Oh my God."
he'd probably
And
look.
I've been.
Yeah, he'd
Mhm.
probably look at me and Sabrina and be like, "No, this is what you did. How dare you?" I'll be like, "Hey, it wasn't us. We're not back there. We don't control the music."
No, we don't control music.
Hey man, sometimes when people like I've had people play like by shoot play my music wrong, and I just got to come out there and vibe with it. Just be like whatever it is. As long as it's not classical music or country music, I should be okay.
Could you imagine Chris Slade coming out to like country music? Like I
Oh,
can't
yeah,
see it.
that's so funny.
Um, you're gonna see a real different side of Chris Slade. You're gonna see the picture perfect assassin with a cowboy hat and boots. Probably still have like the gun holster, but with some swords. Now that I think about it, maybe have a poncho. I don't know. That actually sounds kind of badass now I think about it. I don't know. You guys might talk to into something that no one wants.
um, we have a comment question again.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says if you could go back in time, who would you want to have a match with? I'll go first, and he says Eddie Guerrero that he would love to have a match with Eddie Guerrero.
Hmm. Oh man. If I could go back in time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Shawn Michaels. Shawn
Oh
Michaels. Like,
man.
and I mean, like, it's a toss up because Shawn Michaels has like two different careers. It's like BC and then AD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's like you have drugged up Sean that you hear at least you hear this bad reputation, but was an amazing athlete and could put on 5-star matches by just farting, right? But then you have Shawn Michaels who comes back post back injury
Mm-hmm.
and he's also still putting on 5-star matches, but I don't know, it was something about his matches meant more emotionally. The storytelling was just so much better and meant so much more in the latter half of his career that you almost didn't realize that he didn't do half the same shit that he did back in the day. And so I think that's why I choose Sean, because it doesn't matter whether it was that era or this era. Like it's Shawn Michaels the perfect opponent, I would say. Absolutely, because I feel like I could learn a lot from him personally. So
Right. Yeah. He's like one of the OGs, man. He's been there for a while.
yeah.
Oh my god. Pro Wrestling Podcast says Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels was such a banger.
See, which one? Which one? Because they're both are fantastic. You know what I mean? They kind of blend together because they're both just so good to me. Honestly,
Yeah.
like, and how
And
do you
then
do that? Like,
he says Chris Slade versus Shawn Michaels. Book it.
I do that match now. Screw a time machine. Like if you guys really want a time machine, just put a wig on Shawn Michaels and call it a day. We'll be okay. I mean, let's be honest. The man is ripped. Okay, he's ripped, and he probably still got it. You know, he was probably the best thing. And Triple H is my favorite wrestler, hands down of all time. Anyone can fight me on it. But I will tell you, in Saudi Arabia, my man did not look that great, and he tore his pec. I mean, he's getting older. But Shawn Michaels was the best out of that whole Brothers of Destruction versus DX match, man, and he just did his thing. I mean, it doesn't matter for him. I feel like he's one of those guys like AJ Styles. It doesn't really matter how old you are. You kind of just gracefully age like a fine wine. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think he's always gonna have it. I feel like once you're like a wrestler, and especially if you've been a wrestler since back in the day, like, and you've gracefully aged and you still are wrestling till like Ric Flair, go
Yeah.
for it. Why not?
Yeah, 100%. Like I think R-Truth is a prime example of like that man is like 50, but he looks like a vampire because he hasn't aged a day in his life.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where it's like the epitome of black don't crack. I want to do everything that he did in his life to look like he does now. You know what I mean? If I can look like this when I'm 50, then I'm doing something right. I'm on the R-Truth diet. You guys know I've unlocked it. I found the fountain of youth.
There you go.
Heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. In the chat, my dad goes and says his favorite one was when Shawn was the light and he was the dark. And then
that was a really good one.
Yeah, and then he says Slade versus RVD or Ricochet.
Any of them, both of them, all of them. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I'll take them all.
Bring anyone.
Absolutely. Like I'm here. I'm literally here to fight anyone. I've had to fight anyone just because I showed up one day. Now that I've been in a little bit longer, and I kind of a little bit know myself a little bit better than I used to, because I can honestly tell you, you get first coming in, some people don't know who they are, and just with me now, I know for a fact that I don't care who you are. I want the smoke. No pun intended, but I truly do. I truly do. Let's throw hands. Let's make it an event. You know what I mean? Let's give me your best shot. I don't care if you're 100 pounds, 200 pounds, 300 pounds. Keep on going. I'm ready to do it, and that goes for anywhere I go, especially PPW, because PPW has some of the best talent out there. So let's get it going, man. Seriously.
I'm gonna be honest, Harley. Here we go. You ready? I would like to see Chris Slade go against.
Say it.
Action Andretti.
Oh, not what I was expecting. But yes,
Andretti.
That would be a banger.
That would be a banger.
Yeah, no.
Who did you think I was gonna say?
Well, you know who I would love. Yeah, Sabrina, you're already gonna know where I'm going with this, but I would love, and I've said it the last episodes, I would love for Chris Slade to go one-on-one against Johnny Moran.
I knew it.
I want you to go in that ring and beat the shit out of him. I hate that man.
She has a very hate relationship with this man.
There is no love there. It's just hate. It's straight hate. So that's very accurate. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't care who faces him. I just want them to win.
Okay,
we have our wrestlers.
You know what? Okay, so to answer for you, yes, would love to do that match. And to answer for you, I'm the picture perfect assassin. Assassins do stuff for pay. So I mean, if you want me to take them out, I mean, I'm for hire. Yeah. Just saying. And Moran, there's nothing personal about that at all. It's just I need to make some money. That's all. So,
if you really want to list, we could just go Tim Theory is next on that list for assassin for hire.
All right, cool, got it. He actually took that. First of all, he took a beautiful belt from me as soon as I did. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
yeah. So I
Give
got some
Chris Slade
unfinished
his
business
belt.
there. Yeah, but funny enough though, I have wrestled at Action Andretti actually. Not too long before I came to PPW. I believe it's on YouTube somewhere. It was with him and a fantastic competitor by the name of Diego Hill, which is killing it right now. I want to talk about Ricochet. I want to talk about aerial dynamics. Trust me, that is the guy to watch because he might be the next guy that's signed too because he's really fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I think this one, my dad goes and says Chris Slade versus Casey Navarro, even though I don't like him. I think that would be a great match with, I don't know if Sabrina has ever seen Casey Navarro, but the way I get the vibe, like you guys would work great in a match. But Casey Navarro is more like, I'm here for money and I want to go home. Meanwhile, you're like, yes, I love all my fans and giving them high fives. But Casey Navarro's like, no, I'm gonna go in that ring, beat his
Yeah,
behind, and then that's it.
right. Well, so what I know, like I don't know him personally, so I can't comment on that. I do get it though. Sometimes, like depending on, he's a very well traveled guy, so I'm just maybe it's just like shit, man. He hasn't been home in like 4 days or something like that. He's just ready to go. Who knows? It's like that. But nah. In terms of like match, I've watched a lot of his matches from Hog and PPW because he was actually there when I first started at PPW, and I just watched how, well, like him or not, how he just moved in that ring so fluidly. You know what I mean? He is not like the tallest guy in the world, but you wouldn't know it because of how he carries himself, the confidence of it, right? And that swagger that he carries. And I love a guy like that because that means if you can be that way, I can be that way too. Because now you won't take it personal. You know what I mean? And so yeah, like with guys that are a little bit cocky, I kind of like to bring them down a peg. Because like, oh yeah, dude, I can do the same thing. You just may not know my name yet, but you will. Um, and I would love to take on Casey Navarro and let him know who Chris Slade is. I would love that. I would love that. So
Yeah,
send
exactly.
him my way. I'll go to him. I don't care.
Honestly,
Somebody book him out.
yeah, another good one I think would be you and Encore. We just had him on a couple like last week,
Ooh.
but when he does like
Yeah,
the slide move, that y'all would work great together.
love Encore. Great guy. Yeah, would love to work him. I've been wanting a singles match with him for a while as well because just he's another guy that's just super fluid. You know what I mean? Another guy that's from Hog, has been in Hog, and he's just smooth. You know what I mean? And let's be real. We're talking about earlier how some people don't got rhythm. Well, my man's definitely got the rhythm. I mean, so yeah,
Definitely.
he be killing it out there.
Yeah,
Love that man.
so earlier we were talking like the Abe kind of thing. Do you think there's going to be a time where you're like, okay, I'm ready to retire, or is it going to be more of like an injury kind of thing?
Um, I think I've always particularly planned
Are you
on retiring somewhere in my 50s, right? That's just kind of where I feel like my body's at right now. I feel like I could do it for another 20, 30 years or so. That's how I feel. Um, However, it does. Let's put it this way: things change. Everybody has a plan and you get punched in the mouth, and I'm not 100% sure if that would be possible. I would love it to, because for me, wrestling wasn't always about the money. It was a dream that I wanted to pursue, and I'm out here doing it. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm happy doing. So I'm just gonna say, as long as I can do it, I will do it. 55 is probably or 50 is probably where I'm gonna like, yeah, I might consider it, but right now I'm just blessed to be able to do it at the level I'm able to do it. Because a lot of people don't know this. I'll be 30 this year. People don't know that. Yeah, I'm a lot older than I look. Yeah. So I'm not that far. I got another 10 years, and then I'm halfway there to retirement. And a lot of guys retire at like 40. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do it at a high level. So we'll see. That's the hope, though. I'm trying. So
I'm gonna retire today.
you're retired today. I get it. I need a nap myself.
This stupid internet connection today is really driving me insane.
Don't feel bad. I live in a house with 4 people, and we all use the same internet connection. So don't feel bad.
Well, it
Don't
goes
feel bad.
slowly. So it was like I had a little circle on my face, and then I could
Mhm.
still hear you guys talking, but then like slowly the circle started covering your faces, and I was like, all right, we got to restart this
Well,
computer
at least
again.
you didn't miss much, right? I mean, there you go.
It's okay. I was watching on my phone. When this goes off, I usually have my phone with me.
That's smart. I didn't think of that. Did not
Yeah.
think of that.
We have
Um,
ABJ in
there you
the
go.
chat. He doesn't says if it wants to work. Hold up. He said, "What up, Stabby smells." So that's
That
another.
is a inside joke. Because he walked past me the one day and I went, ew, stinky. And now it just runs a joke in our friendship. So what's up,
Oh,
ABJ? It was
okay.
nice to see you last night. Still can smell you. Um,
He's awesome though.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
best. But okay, so in the chat we have the Pro Wrestling Podcast. He goes, "LOL, gotta get that internet fixed before our."
Normally doesn't happen. It's one of those days.
Hey, technical difficulties happen. There's no judgment here, guys.
Yeah, exactly. The internet is, oh my god.
It has a mind of its own.
And then Anthony says, "Inside your nose, she smells awful." LOL, typical wrestling fan. Thank you. Thank you.
Jerk.
I can't smell the inside of my nose. I don't know if that's just because I broke my nose before or what, but I can smell things, just not the inside of my nose. So I can't really say whether that's a true statement or not.
I mean, I work with old people. I think I can smell inside of my nose. It's kind of gross.
Oh, yeah.
I'm retiring. I'm done. But I would like to know because I don't have any. Does Chris Slade have merch?
I am actually funny you should ask. Yes, I am having merch made. Actually, I just I just got with the creator of my stuff, and I think by Wednesday everything should be in order. So at no later by March, I should have new and for the first time ever Chris Slade merch with like 8x10s, t-shirts, and maybe buttons coming soon. Maybe not sure yet. So we'll see.
Looking forward to it. Yeah. Anthony Blackwell, he goes and says, "Chris Slade is very impressive talent. Always a pleasure to call his matches. I always look forward to them. I wish he had more chances to showcase in a one-on-one." Definitely.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, right? I have definitely wanted to just show what everybody I can do one on one with anybody. Doesn't matter. Just want to say, hey, look, guys, I can crush this, right? Um, However, February we have a show called All Night Long coming up, and there's a particular guy that's you know synonymous with that moniker All Night Long. Your boy Richie Swan, and I'm not sure, and that's I haven't talked to anybody at all or anything like that. I don't know if he's going to be at the show or anything like that. But if he were, I'm just saying that would be the perfect one-on-one match for me to showcase. Let's put it that way. I mean, me and him have wrestled like 4 times already. We always make magic. I feel like when we're in the ring together, I think that would be the perfect one to just debut me as a one-on-one competitor, and just doing bigger things in PPW. Just saying. Just saying. If anybody's listening, and if that happens to be the case.
Yeah, right. You guys better be listening. I don't know about Sabrina, but I have to say I am super super excited for February. Obviously, because we don't have a PPW this month.
It's
So
my
Yeah,
birthday month.
yeah, and we'll be
Well, happy birthday.
yeah, we'll be celebrating both of our birthdays at the PPW in
February.
Okay.
More kudos to her because hers is the 9th, but still,
I don't want to talk about it. I'll be one step closer to 30. Like,
Wait, okay, I'm sorry. So yours is February 9th, right?
yes.
Okay, and okay, gotcha. Harley, yours is
the 22nd.
February 22nd. Okay, you guys are just you guys are splitting the month in half. Got you. Okay,
Exactly.
one for you, one for you. Got it.
Exactly.
All right.
So we just share our birthdays now. You know, you'll have your day, I'll have my day, but PPW is both of our day.
Right.
Got it. We'll keep
Like,
that in mind.
I think both of our birthdays land on a podcast day.
Mhm.
So I said to her, I was like, listen, do not book anybody for my birthday. I won't book anybody for yours. We'll book for our own birthday. But honestly, like, it's so weird that our birthdays are so close. Like, I know that January is still going, but like the fact that our
It's so
birthdays are right around the corner.
I
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Once Christmas is over, I'm like, okay, Sabrina, our birthday is like so close.
Right.
Let's do something
Mhm.
fun.
Right.
But no, yeah, another one of like the matches that I really enjoyed doing was like a dark match, I guess you can say, was for my birthday when it was you
Yeah.
and me, Joe Keller, and I'm pretty sure it was Andy Hatter. But that was a really good match.
Thank you. I'm glad you guys had a good time. I mean, I had a fun time doing it. You know what I mean? I ended up not being the victor in that situation, but it's a dark match. No one counts those. It wasn't on my record for there, so it's fine. As long
It
as you
was
guys enjoyed it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was me and a couple other girls on commentary. So the things we were saying, we were like, oh my god, but look at Chris Slade's hair and look at that. Like we weren't into like we were talking about your hair and like I wonder his hair looks so soft. Can we touch it? And that was the whole thing we were talking about. So whenever someone asks me, oh, what do you recall of Chris Slade? I'm like, yeah, my birthday month. That match was my favorite.
Okay, cool. That's fair. I'm glad I could, make it special. Honest to God truth, I know you guys are since you guys do have a birthday on the same month. I do think it'd be kind of cool that maybe I don't know. You guys do like a PPW podcast show. I don't know. Just
Exactly.
I don't
We don't
know.
know. We don't even
It's an
know.
idea. It's an idea.
Yeah.
We have so much lined up for January that we're still working on January.
Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw so much at you
Oh
guys.
no,
My bad.
you're good. It's good. It's honestly really good to have these ideas. Next week, no, not next week. The following week is our UCW show, right?
Yes.
UCW
Yes.
and where's that?
Hazelton.
Hazleton.
Hazelton.
Oh yeah, I used to be up there not too long ago, actually. Yeah, I know them. They're actually a really good, fun show to be around, and I love their arena too. Like how the seating is just amazing. I like that.
It'll be really fun.
You could always come and say hi to your favorite podcasters.
Exactly.
I
Put that
would
out
love
there.
to. I would love to. It's next week, so I think I'm busy next week. But I am looking to maybe get my way back into PWS. It's just a little bit of a further drive for me because I think that one's like about 4 hours and 35 minutes for me, and like yeah, it's like insane. So I needed a little bit of a break. But yeah, definitely looking forward to going back up there because there were a couple of fans that miss me up there anyway. So yeah, hopefully I make it back up there at some point.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
sure.
Earlier in the chat, my dad did say I'd like to see Slade a part of UCW. So who knows?
Hey, who knows? You never, like I said, I'm going to be popping up a lot of different places this year. So, and UCW, I have been keeping my eye on them. So who knows? I might actually be up there at some point. So, yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta stay tuned. There's so many big things like for the wrestlers, for us. Don't
Yeah,
listen.
yeah. And me personally, I don't like to say everything before it's like set in stone. If you see it on the poster, then yeah, now it's happening. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah. So
I
that's
will
why we
say
always go
though,
to
I'm getting tired of you in these multi-man matches, like we talked about
Yeah.
earlier. And like so I know Paul Bow and McKeegan watch this, or actually Ruda, sorry, they're running the show now. Ruda and
And
JD.
Joe Davis.
You all need to put Chris Slade on a one-on-one match, guys.
Exactly.
He deserves it.
and thank you. See, at least you guys know. And look, I'm gonna devil's advocate here. There's a lot of talented people on that roster, and a lot of people pay their tickets to see their favorite person, and maybe I'm not everybody's favorite person. So sometimes the way to do it is to put everybody together. Is all right, cool. So who's the best out of you bunch? You know what I mean? And I think that's what the No Limits Championship is for. But I there is something you said. I totally agree. I think I'm ready for at least that one-on-one match, just to show how well down here we say how about it actually am. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
kind of what it means. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of what I'm where I'm at the moment with that.
Yeah. Anthony says Chris Slade versus Rem in the street fight that no one probably seen.
And that is exactly what we were talking about. Exactly. Yep.
No,
Yep. He knows. He knows the pain we went through in that one. He saw it.
it needs to be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would. Can you say that
sorry.
again?
He just says you can sell your mask as merch.
Yes, I do have an older one. I do have an older one. So maybe if I get the start buying some more, then yeah, definitely. Because I do have like a older one I used to have and we used to wear in my matches like all the time. But the more I got away from wearing the mask in ring, I just kind of got a little bit of a fancier mask to go with that. So yeah, so maybe I might do that. Who knows? It'd be a good idea though.
Yeah,
You know, though, like the mask is a look for you. It has now grown on me. You coming out there. At first, I thought you were gonna wrestle with the mask on, and I was like, "Well, how's this gonna work?" But no, I mean, hey, it's grown on me. You've grown on me. I'm not as scared of you as I was anymore. um, but in the chat, Pro Wrestling Podcast says Chris Slade needs to come to Chicago.
So I would love to come to Chicago. I would love to wrestle anywhere in Chicago because I think Chicago in general is a beautiful city. I think it gets a bad rap, and frankly, the wrestling scene down there is actually pretty fantastic. So yeah, Chicago, book me. Anybody book me, man. I'll make it down there. You know,
exactly.
get it done.
Are you good, Harley? Are you staying awake over there? What's happening?
Well, it like this. I love the podcast. I was up at 8 a.m. and like we were talking about the internet and all that technology stuff. My whole work thing, like I work in a grocery store, so we use technology for
Loki.
and it literally crashed earlier, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was so annoyed.
Sorry, Loki. Everyone.
It's we love the kid.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Here's my cat, guys.
You don't have one.
Yeah, sorry.
I have dogs. Sorry, guys.
We were just talking about a dog today. We were probably getting a dog too. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
I have two coon
he's like
hounds.
the third of our three that we have, and then a dog. So
Yeah, dogs are really cool. I have two coon hounds.
coonhound. Oh, okay. But I think I might know what it is if I'm imagining the two different dogs together, but I'm having a hard time visualizing. You have a picture at all? I'll have to see it next time I see you guys because that seems like an interesting breed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, what would you say is like the hardest part about wrestling? Like it could be the moves, whatever.
Um, for me, it's the drives. For me, it's the drives. Because from I don't have a car of my own at the moment right now. Um, but even when I did, I just I have all this time to myself thinking about the match and just and I want to just put these moves in action and things like that, and I'm just circling things in my head, and that's something I'm going to do anyway. But it would be, I'll find myself like kind of like daydreaming about the match that I'm going to have. Oh, you missed your exit. Like shit. Like you know what I mean? Like kind of things like that. I would like to like. I think that's the hardest thing for me is to get there. You know, especially like you work another job, you wake up in the morning really early, gotta get up, gotta get for me get a rental car, then you gotta get on the road, and then you gotta come back the same night. You know what I mean? To save money on hotels and things like that. So yeah, it's one of those things where uh, that is really difficult. I found it to be because like the wrestling is the wrestling, the moves are the moves. I you know um, but in terms of like wrestling itself and the act, not just the business, I would say probably the hardest thing is to tell a story that everybody will resonate with. You know what I mean? Because you can set out to tell a very simplistic story, and some people may not like it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You could want to give everybody bang, 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 bang. All right, cool. These guys aren't vibing with this. You know what I mean? And you're West Virginia because they're used to body slam, pose, and everything like that. And I'm not a body slam pose guy. I'm a slap, 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 kick, kick, down. Now we can pose. Same concept, but sometimes simpler is better in certain situations. And finding that sweet spot with every audience is probably the hardest part. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
is something to be said for like, just going out there and just be like not having a game plan. Just going out there, seeing your opponent, seeing that crowd and seeing what they want and be like, all right, cool, let's go make some money, man. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably the hardest thing because, I still haven't mastered that is grasping everybody. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I will walk into a match or a crowd and where they were just like, at least initially, they're not really into it
Mhm.
because they either they don't know you or um, at least where you guys started off going in the match isn't what they wanted to see. And unfortunately, you don't find that out until you get out there. But you got to adjust and yeah, so on and so forth. So I think that's probably the hardest thing because everybody's so different.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think with a lot of like these new like wrestlers that like debut, the crowd doesn't necessarily know like whether like, you're gonna be a heel or you're gonna be a face.
Right.
And they're
Yeah,
like, I don't know
exactly.
if I'm gonna cheer for you or not. Me, I don't care who you are. The first time I see you, I'm gonna be like, yes, I don't know you yet, but yeah, kick some butt.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's Johnny Moran. Then I'm like,
Mm.
Oh my god.
You can stomp them. Somebody stomp them out.
get
Yeah.
I
him out.
mean, me and Harley are one of those people that like we don't care if you're a face or a heel. Like if we like you as a person,
You're on.
we're gonna
Yeah.
root for you whether you're a bad guy or a good guy. So like our
I mean,
number
that's
one go
fair.
to, yeah, like our number one go to right now in wrestling is Ruda. We don't care about who he's repping. We're like, go Ruda, you know.
Yeah.
So you got to pick and choose your favorites.
Yeah. That's why I think like with the whole like Rembrandt versus Chris Slade kind of thing, a lot of people obviously Rembrandt's a heel, Chris Slade was the so they're like, yeah, Chris Slade's gonna win. Meanwhile, there's just me, and probably my dad. Let's go Rembrandt, and everyone's looking at me like, okay, we hear you. You're loud. I'm like, no.
I mean, you paid your money. You know, you can root for whoever you want, and that's what's great about our business. You can boo or cheer whoever you hell you want, and frankly, you know what? It's a fun fact. Like anytime you booed me, whenever I was kicking the shit out of Rembrandt, you know what I did? It made me want to do it better because eventually I'm gonna do something so cool that you're gonna be like, God damn it, he okay, that was good. By golly, that was good. You know? So, you know, it might have been your boy. I get it's your boy. But just saying, it's partially your fault. Just saying, you kept cheering for him. I had to do it in spite of you. I'm just saying. But, you know, we're all good now. Everything's all cool.
You know, there were times I'm like, damn, you're doing too good. Like, stop. Let Rembrandt let him strive a little bit. Like, don't kill his hope.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's like somebody I don't know if you guys know, you ever get your hair washed by somebody, you know, and they just have the magic fingers just all up in your hair, washing your scalp, sudsing it all up, and you're like, oh, you're so good, stop it. But you don't want them to stop, but you're like, oh, I'm conflicted. Like, I actually did come here to get my hair done.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
I think that way every time. Every time.
Yeah, right?
You must have a good hairdresser. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you said like what the hardest part was, but what would you say is your favorite part about wrestling? Like the fans, the moves, whatever.
Kind of the opposite. I think it's my favorite thing. Loki, please don't, buddy. Oh my god. I'm sorry. So my he's all up in the cat tree and he almost killed himself. I'm sorry. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I think I could say that my favorite thing about wrestling is actually being able to go out there, show my talent, and people being appreciative of that art and of the physicality in that. Because people that come up to you and say, "Hey, we like what you do," or anything like that, it means the world to me. Like even the smallest compliment uh, or appreciation for just wrestling in general and the style, it just warms my heart because I was a kid in high school, middle school. Well, in middle school, elementary school, I got bullied incessantly and for watching wrestling and things like that. And I never got to go to indie shows. I didn't know how. So WWE was my only outlet, and so I want to be able to like high five them and be like, "Hey, man, like." You make me want to be a wrestler and things like that. So when people come up to say that type of thing to you, and you're just this small indie guy, you know, just trying to do this goddamn best, it means a lot because you see the passion from other people that you have, and to see people as passionate about what you do as much as you are. And so much so that they want to show their appreciation. That's a beautiful thing to me because it's just like I'm a fan. I do it. Yes, and you know it's I'm very competitive about it. I'm very serious about it. But I started as a fan, like as a 6-month-old baby in my dad's arms while he's eating a bowl of noodles. You know what I mean? That's where it started for me. And you know, when I went to my first wrestling show, it was a WWE show, and I was like, I feel like I can do this. I can do this. Yeah, exactly. That might be the same thing for somebody else. You never know. And the fact that you could actually touch somebody's life like that in just a simple way by just doing what you love is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Me and Sabrina say it all the time. We give you guys all the props and the credit, but as for me, I don't think I can ever, like, I love wrestling, but I don't think I can ever be a wrestler myself. I think I'm just
no way.
Either interviewing or as a manager. That's where you guys can do the hard work, and I'll just be like, yeah, let's go. And I got the voice for it, so.
Hey, see, there you go. I mean, look, this is the way I look at it. You have a dream, no matter what that dream may be, go for it, right? So if you ever wanted to do anything like that, yeah, go for it. Why not? You know, I mean, there are tons of schools. There are tons of you guys know of them, right? But there's something to be said about knowing thyself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody that tells me I couldn't do it, I'm like, if you're telling yourself that, you're probably right. And the only reason why I say that is because I think everybody's first day of training probably sucks. If it doesn't suck the day of, it sucks the day after. Because being a backyarder, you go up there like once every 2 weeks, film some stuff on YouTube, which is pretty much what we do now. But we go up there without any pay, and you kind of work a little unsafe depending on who you are, and you get beat up. But that's only for 15 minutes every 2 weeks. But imagine just now you're doing these reps again and again and again for 12 hours. Your body's screaming, and you've never done it that consistently in your life before. Your body's screaming at you. You want to go home. I kid you not. My first day, the next day after work, I couldn't go to work. I couldn't physically get out of bed. My muscles were like, nope, you're staying here. I hope you like oodles and noodles. And I was like, wow. Joke's on you. I do like oodles and noodles, but still, I'm in a lot of pain. So, yeah, man. I definitely say if you feel like you can't do it, yeah, don't force yourself, because you can only do it if you really, really love it. Exactly. Only do it if you really.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. So you stated, obviously, you're at PPW. You said you are planning on merch. But, if they want to find you on social media and other shows, where can they find you?
Well, I am. My home set is Adrenaline Championship Wrestling. So you can catch me there. I'm a mainstay over there. You can catch me at ATCW, C3W. And like I said, some other places coming very, very soon. And on social media, you can find me at Chris_Slade25. And you can catch me on social media on Facebook at Chris Slade or Dorian Womble. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what to ever say when they say their social medias. I'm like, I don't know. It's just cool. Thanks.
No, I mean, hey, social media, there you go. Cool. But, we're good.
We're good.
Yeah. But that's all for me. I know I was really dominant on getting you on.
She was very dominant.
There are a couple of people that I'm like, we're definitely getting them on. While there's others, I'm like,
I appreciate that, guys. I do. That means a lot.
Yeah, of course. I think maybe for my birthday, like we were talking about, maybe for my birthday episode, I'll get Johnny Moran on so I could bash him the whole time.
There you go. Or this is another idea. Maybe you could have Johnny Moran ask for a birthday match. Johnny Moran versus me. Just saying.
Yeah, right?
Make it happen.
Yeah, make it happen.
That make my
whole... Assassins always for hire. Just saying, guys. All right.
It would make my whole year. I'll be like, oh my God, so this is what happened this year. Chris Slade beat Johnny Moran.
If I do this though, you can't boo me anytime I wrestle Rembrandt, at least for a year and a half.
Yeah, I don't care. If you beat freaking Rembrandt, I'll be like, I love you, Rembrandt, but this man did me a favor.
Okay. All right, cool. So we'll see on that. And if I lose, then you'll act like it didn't happen. So yeah, it didn't happen.
But Sabrina, you wanna do the outro?
Okay, so thank you so much again for being on our podcast. It was a huge pleasure. And make sure you stay tuned because we have one later.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
So we will be back. And thank you just so much. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.